Good morning. Lesson 4-3, comparing and ordering integers. So now that we have an idea about how far away numbers are from 0, we should be able to compare them. The best way to compare them is to put them on a number line, and comparison symbols are these kinds of things. So we have 4 that we often use. That one is less than. And remember, if I talk and write too fast, you can pause. This one is greater than. They're read left to right. Now, what does this symbol mean? Right? That one means equal. But sometimes we're going to add a line, boop, like this. And you know this symbol means less than. So when we put this in totality or combine these, it means less than or equal to. And so same here. If we have an equal sign and we put another line like that, this means greater than or equal to. So we have these 4 symbols. These are our comparison symbols, okay? But putting these on a number line is really helpful. 0, +2, -3. Which one is less? The one on the left. Left, less. See how they both start with a le sound? That's a good way to remember. So we could say -3 is less than 2. And these statements mean the same thing. -2 is greater than, +2 is greater than -3. Okay? Let's look down here. Well, before we do, up here, anytime you have a positive number, it will always be greater than a negative number. Always, always, okay? If they have the same sign, putting them on a number line, again, also helpful. So here they want to compare -2 and -3. So that's why they put the -2 first, because that's in the question. You don't always have to do that because we could do it this way. All right, -3 is to the left of -2. That makes it less than. And then that's the same as -2 being to the right or greater than -3. So let's try to graph these. Justin has a score of -5 on his trivia game. Here's -5. Desiree's score is -3. Okay. Who scored more? Well, that would be the bigger number. And the bigger number is -3. So you could write it this way: -3 is greater than -5, or -5 is less than -3. Either of those would be okay. Okay, let's talk about Andrew and his father. They're hiking near Tacklebox Canyon. Their current elevation in relation to sea level before we said was at 0 feet, right? Their location is -38, so that's below sea level. And that's where Andrew and his father began. And then they hiked Tacklebox Canyon, which has an elevation of -83. So question, is -83 above -38 or below? That's right, it's further from 0 in the negative direction. So they had to hike down to -83. So if we write an inequality, which one is less? -83 is less than -38. Okay, and the meaning is they hiked down. They descended, okay? If we're going to order integers, I really recommend putting them on the number line, and then the least one is to the left. The least is to the left. So if we practiced it here, they have already put them on the number line. Antarctica's lowest elevation is -50. This is Antarctica. Australia's lowest elevation is -15. North America's is -86. And -105 represents South America. So now you could put them in order from least to greatest: South America, North America, Antarctica, Australia. Which continent has the least accessible elevation? South America. Which one has the greatest? North America, right? See how that works? Now, let's do absolute value. Absolute value can have some tricky things because sometimes it's going to be negative and then we have to interpret what they're saying. So explain why an account balance of less than negative 40 represents a debt greater than 40. And here's where a lot of students get mixed up because this says greater and this says less than, and those are opposite things. Here's the key word, debt. Debt means negative. So if your debt is $40, that means you have negative $40. If you have a debt of $50, that's a negative 50. That's a greater debt. You're further from zero, which is why we would do absolute values. The absolute value of negative 50 is 50, and the absolute value of negative 40 is 40. That means the negative 50 is a greater debt. 50 is a greater debt. Okay, that part can be a little tricky. If you're having to find where something fits in between, like in this question, put all of these on a number line. We've got a 0, which is water. Okay, any other positive numbers? 17, which is acetic acid. Got a negative 6, which is aniline. We have a negative 2, which is seawater. Then we have negative 78, which is carbon dioxide, CO2. And we have acetone, which is negative 95. And the question wants to know, where does nitric acid fit if it freezes at negative 42? Well, negative 42 fits between, oh, right here. Nitric acid. So when the question asks, nitric acid freezes between what other two substances? The AN, which we said was aniline, and what's below it? CO2. So that's how you would figure that out, is just graph them all on a number line and then put what you have that you need to have the question about, and then see what's above or below when it asks for what's in between. It's going to be easiest for you if you just graph them all. Okay? That is lesson 4-3. Good luck.